So YouTube recording also has started. Now we can go ahead and start the meeting after 2 minutes. Okay, ma'am?
Anuradha has joined?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it is very difficult for her to join, madam, because she is today moderator or something.
Okay,
at,
okay.
Rajasthan.
I think, okay, I'll just see.
So Dr. Anita Patil will start, no problem, and then I will give.
Madam, will start, madam? Should I start? Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Yes,
Good
yes.
evening, everybody. It takes me a great pleasure to welcome you all to the celebration of International Adolescent Health Week, a global initiative dedicated to highlight the importance of health and wellness of our adolescent, the future pillars of our society. As we all know, International Adolescent Health Week is celebrated under the aegis of IAH, is being celebrated globally from 13th of October to 19th of October. This year's theme is Thriving Inside Out, Strengthening Adolescent Physical and Mental Health. Now today we have two brilliant young youth ambassadors of India for International Adolescent Health Week 2025. That is Sanchana. She's a first-year medical student from Oxford Medical College, Bangalore. And we have Siddiksha. She's a first-year liberal arts student, youth ambassador of India for International Association of Adolescent Health Week 2025. Now, I thank each one of you today to continue the session. I hand over the session to both our moderators. Madam, would you like to speak? Chairperson wants to speak.
Yeah.
I hand
Hello.
over.
Good afternoon to all. This is a beautiful afternoon on Sunday. And so delighted to just invite you all for this beautiful program arranged for the youth. And I just request all of you to just enjoy the session, as this is second year of Women Pediatricians Forum to join this International Adolescent Association for Health. So I definitely am assured that you will all rock this program. So go ahead, and I request Dr. Anita Patil to just for further proceedings.
So I welcome everybody and hand over the session to our two brilliant moderators. So the session is there. Sanchana, you can take the session. Sanjana and Siddiksha, you can continue the session.
I'm Sanjana and I'm the Youth Ambassador of... Yes, ma'am. So hi everyone, I'm Sanjana and I'm the Youth Ambassador of India for International Adolescent Health Week 2025. And I'm a first year medical student and my classes are just starting tomorrow. So I'm so excited to be moderating the panel discussion today, and it's being conducted on account of IHW. And I'll be doing this with my fellow Youth Ambassador, Siddiksha. So I'll begin with a small introduction to IHW. It is an international annual grassroots initiative which began as Teen Health Week in the United States, but now it's being celebrated over 6 continents. This week is dedicated to empowering young people and engaging communities in promoting adolescent health and well-being through education, advocacy, and collaborative action. This year, as Dr. Anita said, IHW is being celebrated from 13th to 19th October 2025, and the theme is Thriving Inside and Out, Strengthening Adolescents' Physical and Mental Health. So adolescent health has become an important topic of discussion today because usually it was categorized into children's health and adults' health only. But now we realize that there are numerous grounds to study under adolescent health, and thus it requires special attention in the health sector. So adolescent health is broadly classified into physical and mental health, and they're hugely interdependent on each other. So this year's IHW, our primary objective is to cover all aspects of adolescent health to ensure the holistic thriving of teenagers all over the world. And with this objective in mind, in collaboration with the Women Pediatricians Forum, we are conducting this panel discussion today on the topic Resilience, the Superpower. And we are excited to hear different perspectives from pediatricians and youth of India. So it is therefore my immense pleasure to introduce all the panelists for today. First, we have Dr. Hima Bindu Singh, who is a professor of pediatrics and neonatology, and she's also an additional DME and Dean at SIMS. She's also the founder chairperson of WPF. Next, we have Dr. Preeti Galgali, who is the vice president-elect of South Asia IAH and member of IHW committee. And she's also an adolescent health specialist. Next, we have Dr. Paula Goel, who is a consultant pediatrician and adolescent specialist. She's also a treasurer of the NCD chapter of IAP. Next, we have Ms. Naumika Khanna. She's the youth voice of AHA IAP, actively advocating for the inclusion of non-communicable diseases, mental health, and disability. She empowers youth and communities to build empathy, awareness, and equitable access to health and well-being. Next, we have Mr. S. Abhiram, who's a third-year medical student and is also a youth voice at the Wave 18 AHA Youth Forum. We also have Dr. Anita Patil today, who is an adolescent consultant from Mumbai and an executive board member of IAP Mumbai. We're so grateful to have you all in the panel today, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. So without any further ado, let's begin the panel discussion. So my first question is to Dr. Hima Bindu Singh. As pediatricians, what physical health markers do you consider most important to track during adolescence? Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjana. Yeah, we're all celebrating this International Adolescent Health Week. And we at AHA, we are the biggest body of adolescent pediatricians I think, in the world. And for us in India, see, every country may have different issues, but mostly we have very common things. And what we are very concerned is the physical issues, especially the obesity and the mental issues, mental well-being. These two are extremely important. We need to track these two as a priority for me.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question will be asked by Sidiksha.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sidiksha, and my question is to Dr. Preeti. So, ma'am, in your experience, what's the best way to talk about food and nutrition with teens so that the focus stays on health rather than their appearance?
Thank you, Sidiksha, for that question. I must mention here that Naumika, our youth voice, has unfortunately met with an accident and she cannot join us right now. So we hope that she would be able to join us after she receives the first aid soon. And for that purpose, I would be taking a few of her questions and I would request all the other panelists to chip in. It'll be nice. Sanjan, I'll just go back to your first question. I think Dr. Hima Bindu Singh may want to kind of add on to what you asked first, was because it's so much related to body image, right? And that is what Sidiksha has asked me, you know. So what do you consider the most important to track during adolescence, as well as as far as the physical health markers are concerned, right? So we would love it if all adolescents come to pediatricians at least once a year so that we could track your physical health. Unfortunately, what happens when you're younger, you come to us many times. Of course, that's not very unfortunate. We love to have you in our clinics when you are younger with all your cough, cold, diarrhea, loose motion, number of vaccination visits. But as you grow older, the vaccination after 5 years is usually the 10-year vaccine. So then we lose out on you for nearly 5 years. We don't know what's happening there. And also after 10 years, we have another vaccine, which is there probably at 16 years or so, or at 15 years. So if I take the HPV also. So again, we don't know how really you're tracking on physical health, because if I take the basics, the height, the weight, and the body mass index is extremely important. As far as your physical health tracking goes, there are charts for boys and girls separately. And we have the Indian Academy of Pediatric charts. And we love to see you how you're growing, whether you're growing adequately or not. Another thing which we also want to see as you're growing older is, whether how is your puberty set in and whether it's on track. So that's also we assess by what we call sexual maturity rating. And there's no other way to assess it unless you come to us at least once a year, if not more often, if there is some issue. Also, we like to check on whether you have any nutritional disorder. And the most common nutritional disorder in India is anemia, as you all of you know, and that is low hemoglobin. Yes, and that is mainly because of multiple causes, but the most common causes are usually nutritional, iron deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency, folic acid deficiency, the other micronutrient deficiencies like even zinc. So we all also want to kind of keep a tab on that, whether things are going okay or not. And now, obviously, if the food and nutrition is good, your physical health is one of the markers that everything is going on well. Dr. Bindu, would you like to add on anything to physical health markers?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I thought, I know, the physical health, definitely the height, weight, BMI, the waist circumference, all this extremely important. And apart from the, and I think these are things they need to check for every 6 months nowadays. पहले तो साल में एक बार बोलते थे, but because the incidence has increased, we want to closely monitor them. So I would advise at least once in 6 months. And if you want to do the labs, in case there's an overweight, not for all cases, but at least as if there's a family history or then there is overweight, then at least the blood pressure. Blood pressure routinely we see, but at least the blood sugar also and the cholesterol or lipid profile if needed. So all this can be included in their routine checkups.
Yeah, thank you. That's really, really important, I think, especially if you have a family history and if there's obesity present, then undoubtedly this becomes a must as far as physical health tracking goes. So, what's the best way to talk about food and nutrition? So, and about body image also. So, we often say that beauty is from within, right? We also try to give this concept of you are beautiful inside out, first emphasizing on inside part of it and then the outside part of it. But then you live in your body, so you need to take care of it, right? Yes. So it's important that you stay healthy physically and you ensure, like we said, all parameters are going on the correct way. Also, you ensure hygiene, which is extremely important. And on top of that, you also need to take your vaccinations on time so that you don't suffer from any of the preventable diseases, right? So that is in brief taking care about your body. Also, we know that there is a mind-body connect. So your body will be healthy if your mind is healthy as well, right? So that is also important, and it shows on how you look depends on how you feel from within, right? And food affects both how you look and how you feel from within. So there are times when you feel like, when feeling down and you feel like binging on sugary stuff, maybe a biscuit, maybe a chocolate. But what does it do? It raises your blood sugar to such an extent that you feel very thrilled from within. Your brain gets what we say a reward center kick there. But then what happens? Insulin hormone is secreted and the sugar comes crashing down. And when this happens, you tend to get very angry and irritable, right? So that is one part of it. Also, if people, what happens when we try to talk to adolescents about food and nutrition, we try to make it very relevant to that particular person. We try to give a personalized nutrition advice, apart from giving a very general advice of having a balanced diet. So if somebody is feeling very irritable, this could be one of the advices which we give to make sure that the person does not have this high fat, salt, sugar diet, right? Also, sometimes if a person is very concerned about, a young person is very concerned about the complexion, we often tell them that a diet rich in iron, which gives a high hemoglobin, which maintains your hemoglobin, will give you the rosy cheeks that you want. Yeah, so that is what we say. But now you told me a very important thing. How would we defocus from the body? So I would say do not defocus from the body, because body is important. What we want to convey the message is, let us have body neutrality. My body is important. I need to take care of it, but it is not the only indicator of my self-esteem or my self-worth. There is more to me beyond my body. The way I conduct myself, the confidence that I have within, the way I treat people around me, the way I build resilience and bounce back from troubles, all defines me. My roles and responsibilities in my family define me. My roles and responsibilities as a student, as a friend, as a community member, all define me. Body is one part of my overall personality. I hope I have answered you, Sidiksha. If there's any query, any other query, I'll be happy to add on more to that.
Thank you so much for the answer, ma'am. Thank you. Now I'll ask Sanjana to ask her question.
The next question is going to be asked to Dr. Paula Goel. The question goes like this. From your experience, what long-term impact have you seen in adolescents who consistently lack proper sleep?
So thank you so much, Sanjana. And it's a pleasure to be here on the IAHW week. And when we talk about sleep, now sleep is a very important factor in life for everyone, not just adolescents. And but typically for adolescents, few factors play a very important role. This is the time where a large amount of bonding occurs with friends, but unfortunately, most of the bonding occurs late at night. And this is the time where nowadays most of the teenagers and the youth group and even the preteens get onto their phone maybe at 11 o'clock in the night, and they're scrolling. And by the time they go to sleep, it is maybe 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. And again, they have to get up to go to their school or college the next day morning at 6:30 or maybe 6:30 a.m. So obviously the number of hours of sleep are decreased. A typical adolescent would require about 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And we must understand that they are getting only maybe 4.5 and 5 hours of sleep. Besides, the circadian rhythm, which is there, it shifts, it gets delayed during the adolescent phase. Now let's look at what really happens if there is consistent lack of proper sleep. So it just does not make up for tired teens. It actually can shape their mood, mind, and metabolism in many lasting ways. So as we all know, adolescence is the time when the brain is pruning, rewiring, and building emotional circuits that define the adult life. And when sleep, that is the part where where your physical body rests and your brain actually starts the work. That is the time if sleep is chronically shortchanged, it leads to certain important factors. One is emotional volatility. So what happens? Adolescents with lack of sleep become very irritable, anxious, and very reactive. Small setbacks which are there on a day-to-day basis, they become very overwhelming. And because the brain's emotional brakes, especially the prefrontal cortex, they are not well rested enough to regulate the stress. There's also a cognitive slowdown which occurs, which means memory, concentration, and creativity. It takes a hit. This is also the time where actually if the sleep is good, the adolescent can be very creative. But however, because of lack of sleep, this gets affected. And we've seen that students who are academically bright, they start suddenly struggling with grades. And this starts typically from the 8th or the 9th standard. And this is simply because their brains are running on low charge. There's a hormonal chaos because sleep disturbs the hormone release, especially growth hormone, thyroid hormone release. Appetite control gets affected. So your leptin gets suppressed and your hunger hormone, ghrelin, gets activated. And if they're up in the night scrolling on their phones, there is melatonin secretion gets suppressed and sleep gets affected. And that is the time when ghrelin goes, secretion gets activated and it leads to midnight snacking. And as Dr. Preeti has said before, there is also insulin sensitivity which gets affected. And this sets the stage for obesity, acne flare-ups, and early metabolic risks, including PCOS, which many of you are aware of. Now, constant lack of sleep over a period of time, it would lead to chronic fatigue syndrome, which is associated with very unexplained aches and pains which occur over the body, and they remain fatigued during the day with constant brain fog. Lack of REM sleep, which is called as a rapid eye movement sleep, leads to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high cortisol, all of this increasing stress. And over a period of time, chronic sleep deprivation, it also correlates with depression, low motivation, and social withdrawal. So in short, sleep is not a luxury, as many people say during this age group that, oh, I overslept or I don't want to sleep, I can go without sleep. It's not a luxury. It's a hidden superpower. Every hour that is lost in your sleep, it shows up as fatigue, mood swings, and burnouts throughout the day. And helping adolescents, reclaim your healthy sleep is actually one of the most transformative treatments which is available. Instead of taking all your multivitamins, calcium, if your sleep is good, you will realize that you feel so much rested, so much charged, and it's like a superpower. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very detailed. Thank you. The next question on to Sidiksha.
My next question is to Abhiram. So, given the packed schedules of schools and colleges, how do you think families can realistically encourage adolescents to stay active?
Hello, good evening, everyone. I think, Sidiksha, you really asked a good question. Honestly, nowadays, schools and colleges really have a tight schedules, especially during the exams. We can't be physically active. But being active doesn't mean to go gym or to do sports. It can be even small things like walking up at dinner or dancing or doing any activities which you are really interested, like painting, drawing, something like that. Nowadays, Indian families are encouraging a lot of children to be active, to be, encourage in activities. Uh, so even spending time with families uh, can be improve in health and other things. The final goal shouldn't be to force that person to exercise or physically active, but to make that activity to integrate into his normal lifestyle and to make it fun or to be happy. Uh, it should feel like spending time together and staying healthy at the same time. Thanks.
Thank you, Abhiram. Over to you, Sanjana.
Next question is to Dr. Preeti Galgali. In your practice, what strategies have you found effective in helping teens build resilience while still acknowledging academic and peer pressures?
Okay, Sanjana, that's a really important question. But before I come to that, Abhiram, I would just like to ask you, what do you do to keep physically active, being a
Ma'am, I
medical
like,
student?
as ma'am, during exams, normally I go to gym in the morning, 5 o'clock, I wake up. In the evenings, I usually take a walk after dinner. Sometimes I like to play games with friends, cricket, volleyball. It helps me stay focused and I'll feel fresh after exams. That's ma'am.
Okay, do you face any challenges being a medical student in staying physically active? And you gave a long list, and that's really very appreciable. The gym, the walk, and also, bonding with friends and staying active. That's wonderful. Any challenges that you face?
I think MBBS is really stressful if you can't manage the timetable or your schedule properly. If you can manage it, it's really fun and enjoying. I love it, man.
That's wonderful, Abhiram. So, time management is the key to build resilience as far as academic stress goes. And Sanjana, academics, so you're going to join medicine soon, and Siddhiksha is in Christ College. And I'm sure each one of us face this challenge here of time management. So, when you talk about resilience in academic stress, and see, resilience comes into the picture usually in terms of adversity, right? We think of a bouncing ball, right? When you put the bouncing ball, it bounces back. That's exactly how we want ourselves to be. When we are put down, we want to bounce back. We don't want to stay down. So it is how you navigate adversities by using your internal resources and also making use of external resources. So it's not only about how strong you are from within, how which are the resources which are available and how do you reach out to them, which is very important. So coming back to academic stress, I think time management is extremely important because sometimes and I think the biggest thing which interferes with time management is what? If I would ask Sanjana, is there something which you feel, oh no, the time is finished? Like, is there something which really interferes?
Sorry, I wasn't able to hear the question properly. Can you
Okay,
repeat?
Sanjana, so what interferes with managing time? And you are kind of, you think, oh no, time is gone.
Yes, ma'am. I think one of the major challenges that we face is procrastination. I think we
Okay.
keep postponing things for later, and we think we have time, but then we run out very quickly.
Yeah.
So, and also setting unrealistic goals, thinking we can fit in too much in a short time period, and it's often not possible. So it just creates future demotivation as well. So I think that would
Right.
be the main.
Okay, thanks, Sanjana. Making a timetable which is easy to follow would be the thing. And I often tell young people that make a timetable daily because sometimes you have assignments, sometimes you have tests the next day, sometimes you may have a sports day the next day. So according to that, how do you want to spread your day before is important. So people often tell that, they form a timetable, but they never follow it. That's because you form a kind of a general timetable for all days, and all days are not the same. Another important thing to remember is that time management is in the prefrontal cortex. It's situated there, and your prefrontal cortex till around 24 years is still developing. So there are chances that you may not be able to totally follow, but then brain is under construction and neuronal connections are being formed. The habits that you build now will last you over a lifetime. So definitely you need to invest time in managing your time well. And for me, the biggest challenge is my phone, right? Sometimes I just get onto the phone and I'll say, okay, I'll be here for just 5 minutes. I'll just check what messages on WhatsApp. And then it's scrolling. Yeah, and the time just slips away. So I think it's extremely important that digital devices are wonderful ways of connecting, but they're also wonderful ways of disconnecting us from reality. So we have to keep that in mind. And when we set up a timetable, I think it's important to say how much time I'm going to sleep. I think I'll put sleep, as Paula rightly said, as top. And next, I would also say physical activity, as what Abhiram said. We recommend 60 minutes, but at least 30 minutes should be the key every day and more during the weekends. And also some time aside for food, food without your phones. You're doing mindful eating. You're enjoying your food. You're in touch with your satiety. Others not just gobbling up the food and not even realizing how much you're eating with phone next to you. So that's another important thing to remember when we are talking about resilience, because healthy lifestyle is the bottom line first. Then coming back to studies, time management, yes, you should have good study skills, regular study, like what you said, Sanjana, procrastinating should be avoided as far as possible. Also, you should have good exam taking strategies and also good strategies to overcome anxiety. right? So suddenly you kind of see your exam paper and you say, oh, I don't know this, or oh, I read it and I can't remember. Because if there is emotional override, it will block your memory center, it will block your hippocampus. You will not be able to remember. So could you do that belly breathing? Could you calm down? Could you take 3 mindful breaths? Take a pause and then collect your emotions, be calm, and then approach your paper. And if you don't do as well, remember that people don't fail. So don't label yourself as a failure, but say, what I did not work. Can I find another way to make it work? The way I read maybe was not the right way. The way I approached my exam was not probably the right way. I am not a failure. I have the ability to succeed. And the best example of resilience would be the Thirsty Crow story. You all know the Thirsty Crow story, right? Yes? And you know how wonderfully the Thirsty Crow was self-aware about what his problem was. He coped with his stress, emotions, used his creative thinking to use multiple solutions, critical thinking, analyzed it, made the right decision and solved the problem beautifully. And if there was another flock of thirsty crows with him, he would have been empathetic towards them. He would have used his interpersonal skills and effective communication and solved the problem for the whole flock, right? So these are the life skills which really play a big role in resilience. Coming to peer pressure. Peer pressure, do you feel always peer pressure is negative? What do you feel? What do you feel? Do you feel there is a positive peer pressure also, Abhiram?
I don't think peer pressure doesn't affect normally. Sometimes, like when my father stresses me to study, I really study it to help to know to respect them, or sometimes it doesn't really help me.
Okay. So it doesn't affect you. If your friends are saying, let's go out for a movie and there's an exam the next day and your father has messaged you to study, you would think twice before going out with your friends, right?
Yes,
Or if it's in a holiday time and your friends say, come, let's play football, you would just go jumpingly, isn't it? So peer
yes,
pressure may not be always negative. It can be lots of times positive, and it is positive many of the times because we all love our friends, right? But if there is something which does not, you're having a doubt, is this right or wrong? Then you will have to analyze the pros and cons. If I go out for a movie today and I have an exam, how well am I prepared? What are the cons and what are the pros? So can I postpone this movie to another day, maybe a holiday, and go for the exam? So using your assertive communication skills and saying, look, I'm not well prepared. I think I'll come with you for the next movie when we don't have an exam would be a good way to maintain your friendship and also express yourself correctly. Okay, so these are some of my thoughts on resilience for academic pressure and also how to handle peer pressure.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very articulate. Now, on to Sidiksha.
So my next question is to Dr. Paula Goel. So, ma'am, what are the subtle signs of anxiety that often go unnoticed in teenagers, and how do you think parents or teachers can spot them early?
Thank you so much. And that is a really, really excellent and a very important question. And this would be as an extension to what Dr. Preeti has been talking, because she spoke a little bit on anxiety. Because in teenagers, anxiety rarely looks like anxiety. Now, anxiety in adults is very different, and in teenagers is very different. It always hides behind your day-to-day behavioral patterns, where parents or teachers may just dismiss it as being the regular moodiness. However, there are certain very subtle signs which are often overlooked. One is there could be emotional as well as behavioral changes. So there could be persistent irritability, anger, mood swings. So anything which is lasting more than 15 days at a stretch should be looked into. Avoidance of social events, classes, or even doing activities which was once enjoyed. So let's say a child is fond of dancing or singing or is fond of some particular extracurricular activity, but all of a sudden gets so put off by it and gets angry with the family member, especially mother, if it is even mentioned, then there is something that the parents need to look into that. Or there could be sudden changes in the sleep patterns or the eating patterns. So there could be difficulty falling asleep, difficulty staying asleep. So they could fall asleep, then suddenly wake up and not being able to sleep. Or there could be excessive sleepiness during the daytime, sleepiness, somnolence as we call it, can occur. There could be changes in appetite, which could mean that they could either overeat or they may completely skip meals because they want to either, like match how their peers look, or maybe they're just not really hungry. And why is this important? Because anxiety, it disturbs the hormonal balance and the body circadian rhythm. And these shifts will actually come even before the emotional symptoms they actually surface. Excessive screen time or social withdrawal completely. So you may find them either going through mindless scrolling. So they're not really looking at anything in particular, but it's a mindless scrolling which keeps on occurring, or they could be gaming or staying constantly online. But every time it may not even be for fun, but it could also be to avoid the real world stress that they may be undergoing at that point of time. So parents and well as teachers, they need to understand that if the teenager suddenly becomes very irritable or cranky after they have been on their gadget for a long time and they are not enjoying what they are doing even on their gadget or being with their friends, or if the social media interaction leaves them very irritable, then there is something more to this. Some teenagers could also get into the point of perfectionism, or they can get hyper focused on grades or projects or even appearance. And it is not that they are just motivated to perform well, it could also be an internal battle from within because of the fear of failure. The fear of failure is so high that to battle it, they will go to the opposite extreme. So excessive worrying about grades, appearance, or performance is another red flag. Overthinking or constant reassurance. So, which means that they require validation from their friends, from their parents, teachers constantly. Am I doing the right thing? Is this the correct way to do it? Am I looking good? Oh, I have got a pimple. Now my face is ruined. So these, or maybe to the parents, are you going to get mad at me if I tell you something? So a constant reassurance is also a red flag. So at this point, praise and effort is very important. And telling them that perfection is okay. Even if you don't excel in it, it's okay. But you need to be yourself. So at that point of time, we have to ask very gentle questions like, what part of this feels most stressful to you? And we have to allow the teenager to actually, talk about it. Other very important thing is they may also suffer from a large number of psychosomatic complaints. So constant headaches, persistent headaches, stomach pain, body aches, chest pain too, like mimicking cardiac pain, nausea, vomiting. Many of them may actually have physical bouts of vomiting or muscle tension in the neck and back, upper arms, leg cramps. And especially this when this occurs close to any social event or family event, they could also be masking anxiety. And these physical symptoms, when they have no medical cause, they could be considered as an emotional stress, a factor of emotional stress. And also, many times they may appear fatigued if they are not, even after sleeping, let's say for 8 hours, 9 hours, they have slept, but still they are fatigued. That's also another point which we need to keep in mind. Academic and school cues are very important. So if there is a drop in grade, if there are forgetfulness, not wanting to go to school, frequent absenteeism, falling sick just on the morning before going to school, especially if there is an exam or if there is a test or there is an important event in school, especially a parents-teachers meeting. Or constantly you will find some of the teenagers pulling their hair, chewing their nails, tapping, fidgeting, difficulty in sitting still. So that is also very important. So these are some of the important things. Anger outbursts. Many times the parents come and say that actually we have not said anything to our child, but always our daughter or son is so angry that we get scared to speak to them. So it is because maybe they are having an internal conflict or irritation and they don't understand and they're not able to vocalize it out. And the irritability can be a part also of the brain's defense mechanism when they are feeling very overwhelmed with the emotions. So instead of reacting to the anger, it may be a better point if the parents or the teachers ask them the question that you seem upset. What is it that is bothering you? Or is there anything that you would like to share with me? And as I said before, there's a lot of avoidance factor could be there. They may not want to meet their friends or peers. So parents should actually look at these points in a gradual way. So not as a sudden factor which comes in, but a gradual withdrawal rather than a sudden stop. Also, they may get over dependence on a particular adult or even a friend. So parents or teachers can actually create that safe space, non-judgmental space for conversation. So you could speak to them by saying that even a friend could do so, that you have been quiet lately. So what is it that's been troubling you? And it is important to understand that we should not negate their feelings because these feelings are actually very genuine to them and they feel it so much from within. So feelings should not be negated. But we should say that we should normalize them by saying that it's okay to feel angry, it's okay to feel hurt. And everyone gets worried at times, but we could always talk about it and settle out some things. So we have to watch for patterns, not just isolated situations. And there should be healthy coping, whether in terms of exercising, journaling, hobbies. And parents or teachers can also motivate, and parents especially can, get down to the point of, sharing the hobbies with their child. If there is some common hobby which they like to do, especially sports or cooking or dancing, it is good for both parents as well as the child. Encouraging consistent routines, sleep, physical activity. Sleep, as I said before, is a very important part because lack of sleep would again cause a lot of tremendous flux within. If it is possible, if it is still not improving, it is best to seek professional help from either your pediatrician, a counselor, or an adolescent mental health expert. So when we look at anxiety, it actually whispers. So it knocks on your door before it becomes a major issue, before it actually screams out loud on the face. And what is important is to identify that small tapping or knocking on the door. When parents and teachers listen to that knock and identify the changes in sleep, in the different patterns or the tone, they can actually intervene early and we can help the teenagers to build their lives and reclaim their lives with confidence and control. Thank you.
That was
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
wonderful, Paula. Can I just add one or two signs? One is another sign of anxiety is also a panic attack. Just before the exam or before you have a performance, suddenly somebody passes out or feels that constriction in the throat, or sudden chest constriction, right? So that is another sign. And another sign of anxiety is also self-harm. Intense anxiety can cause self-harm. So any self-harm in an adolescent is actually an emergency. And we need to do a thorough mental health evaluation. We cannot just let it go and just say it is attention seeking, it is impulsive, but we need to really, so anxiety disorders can lead to this. Also substance use is also seeing drug use, violence. So any of the high risk behaviors may be because of an underlying anxiety disorder. So these are flag signs which can be easily picked up. And Paula, that was really a wonderful description. I think very comprehensive.
Also one point which I missed out was passive aggression. So many times, parents feel or teachers feel that the child is very quiet, like if they tell something, but the child is quiet and is doing it. But what could also be something as we always look at irritation and anger, the anger outburst. But we don't really understand when a child or a teenager actually, internalizes the whole process as a passive aggression. And that causes a lot of physical somatization of the body. and it leads to very bad panic attacks and anxiety attacks at a later point in time. So these are some of the points where the anxiety comes actually knocking into the door, and they're very subtle, but they need to be picked up.
Thank you, Dr. Paula and Dr. Preeti. That was very insightful. Now, over to Sanjana.
I think we welcome Dr. Monica. Nomika has joined, na? Nomika, thank you. You are okay. Thank you for joining in.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we were just talking about resilience, and today I got an example of resilience.
Okay,
I
okay.
just
Yeah.
went accident, and I thought that what Dr. Preeti was saying about resilience was really an example. That if I join this panel discussion today, then I'm resilient enough to show myself, show my face, and she was talking about resilience and its basics in a lot of manners. And thank you so much for asking, Preeti. And that's really nice. But it's okay. Accidents do happen. चोट खा के ही बच्चा बड़ा होता है. It's
Okay,
okay.
thank you,
Please make
Nomika.
your voice little loud.
Over to Sanjana now. Yeah.
Hi, Namika. My next question will be to you. So with social media being so ingrained in adolescents' life, what practical boundaries or habits do you recommend to protect mental health? Over to you.
Wow, I didn't knew the next question would be on me, but it's a very important question
Please be a little
because
louder, Nomika. Your voice is very, it should be.
actually I'm wearing earphones. So now
Please
is it
remove that.
clear?
Please remove, I think. Little
Is it
better,
clear
please.
now? Okay. So what I feel that it's a really important question, especially in adolescents and even in preteens. The importance of social media, right? Since I am working with children and adolescent as a psychologist, in my expression, the best way to go about in the question was on social media, right? So social media would be like, I believe that the goal is not to eradicate or eliminate social media, but to help young people use it mindfully rather than being used by it, right? So social media, of course, can connect people, educate, and inspire the people, but it can also distort self-worth, fuel comparison, and also quietly drain the emotional energy. In fact, I felt it myself when I was a teenager. The key here lies in setting compassionate, realistic, behavioralistic boundaries that will protect the mental health while respecting the digital identity. Many times I do feel that just as we were talking about that, the problem not only lies in the children but in parents too. So, for example, I've seen children glued to their screen, right? And then they're showing a lot of tantrums if their parents take away. So, that is a part of permissive parenting, right? And I hope everybody knows here the importance of permissive and what is parenting. I hope so. Should I continue or should I explain permissive parenting? That, parents would give anything to the children in the name so that the child stays quiet and there is no more fights in the house. So, a lot of practical habits that I would recommend as a budding psychologist, especially a counseling psychologist, would be to create a tech-free zone or tech-free time as a behavioral technique. So no phones during meals, a family that actually has meals together, guidance together before bed or immediately after waking up, because that actually results in abnormal EEG as well. And since we are a group of pediatricians, we should know what is an EEG. This helps in the brain unbinding and improving the focus, mood, and sleep. Then follow the content that uplifts, not compares. I have seen that Instagram, various other things will actually help you compare yourself to another person. I often tell teens that if your feed does not make you feel good about yourself or others, then it's time to clean your digital space, have a digital detox. And I believe that we also had a session on digital detox, which meant not removing the social media, but actually using the social media in a balanced manner. So, curating the social media feed by the children themselves, not by helicopter parenting, is a simple and powerful form of self care. And most important, just as there were traffic lights, today I would just take the example because my driver did not stop at the traffic lights. So, what can we do? We can pause before posting. It is also very important in teaching the children the importance of context. For example, it is also a kind of an emotional check before sharing something online. Ask, am I doing this to express myself or to impress some other person? And in that tiny moment of reflection, this strengthens the emotional regulation. So first is check, then you evaluate, and then you move forward. And then balance the virtual and real connections. Encourage face to face activities, sports, volunteering, art therapy, or simply spending time in naturalistic environment. Just as Dr. Paula was saying, everything that was psychosomatic as well as, psychological in nature about anxiety. So actually, naturalistic environments do help, and offline joy can restore the perspective that social media often distorts. Most important, uh, balance the virtual and real connections. Last but not the least, model healthy boundaries as adults and as well as teens, preteens, and children. Parents should tell the importance of consents, not just to girls, but as well as to men, LGBTQ society, because consent is something that is very important. So, from a psychological viewpoint, the healthiest boundary is internal awareness, knowing when scrolling starts to affect one's mood, self image, sleep, and choosing to step back from people who are not there to help you but to take advantage of you. That is what I have for social media, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Ms. Namika. Thank you for being here and answering that so well and in depth. So on to Sidiksha.
My next question is to Abhiram. So, my question is, how do you think hormonal changes during adolescence play into mood swings or even more serious health conditions?
I think the hormonal changes do play a very important role during all adolescence and puberty. Many hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone keeps fluctuating during this period of time, which affects our moods, brain, body, ultimately result affecting our moods and emotions. But it's really completely normal for teens to experience mood swings, irritability, and bursts of emotions. But I think it's really important to notice when these changes starts interfering in our daily activity and daily lives, like trouble in sleeping or doing activity, or what we usually do in our daily life. or what we enjoy. So these can be the signs that you might need help from someone. So having a open conversations with friends, family, or someone you can trust, just knowing that it's okay to feel this way during this time, and to know the help is available when we need it. And it's really important to learn how to cope with these changes, building healthy routines, staying active, practicing mindfulness and healthy lifestyle. It's a part of developing, uh, and it's a part of life. It helps in resilience in normal life also. I think it's it's a really good uh, improvement in our life. Thanks.
Thank you, Avram. That was very detailed. Now over to Sanjana.
So my next question is to Dr. Himabindu Singh. In your experience, how strongly do lifestyle factors like diet, sleep, and exercise shape the overall mental well-being of adolescents? Over to you, ma'am.
I think we've lost her. We lost Bindu. I think she's lost connection. I
Hello?
think we've talked in quite a lot of details. I think Bindu, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What is the question?
I think we have talked about diet and sleep. I think we can focus on physical activity now, Sanjana. What do you feel? We talked quite a detail in diet and sleep, right? Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
how does so Sanjay just asked you that how does physical activity affect the overall well-being of adolescents?
Physical activity, whether it is, it really helps in focusing, increasing focus and de-stressing. And you actually, a lot of hormones come in, oxytocin, endorphins, happy hormones. So different types of exercises you can do to get all this. It helps you to de-stress. It also improves your focus, and that will indirectly, help you for your studies also. For all of the young people want good marks. They want to do best in the sports. So whether it is sports or academics, so this physical activity improves your performance in these two, most important during this age. So it is nice to have some physical activity, not just sedentary type of caroms and all that. These are some of the chess and other things. They are brain, those are for the brain, maybe. But physical, important to move your body. It could be yoga. Yoga is wonderful. It improves your flexibility. It actually helps you, the meditation and how to calm down. It helps you to calm down, be composed. Whenever you get any, like we spoke about anger management and anxiety, all those things. So it helps you in coping up with challenges. Any situation comes, you know how to handle it. So it actually, dhire dhire, na, the personality becomes very composed. You don't react, you respond. So physical activity like yoga, not just meditation and improving your muscles, your flexibility. Not and these are excellent for that. And other activities like gym, yes, that is to improve your strength training, especially. So different types of exercises helps you in a different way. So extremely important, at least 1 hour of physical activity, like even a walk, just to help you to de-stress. So different, we have benefits of exercise. So extremely important that the adolescents, young people include this in their day-to-day routine. Um, so, but they are not very particular. I think we should ask the young people why they don't give importance to physical activity or physical. We have to really push them. As a principal in a medical college, now I find it very difficult to make them sit in the yoga classes or even that I opened the gym. Actually, what I opened the gym in the medical college, and I hired one yoga teacher. but the students used to always run away. So I said कि कहाँ कब करना है, सुबह करना है, शाम में करना है, all choice was given to them, but it didn't work out. So I think just like fun, it should be like fun, what Abhiram said. So we leave it to the students to decide. But I really want to ask Abhiram and other youngsters here, why physical activity is not given importance so much in your life? You don't give that much attention to it. Why is it so?
Hello.
You know the benefits of physical, you know the benefits, na? So why don't we include it in our day-to-day activity?
Ma'am, I think physical activity is very important in our day-to-day life, but not everyone likes to do it. Most of us are
Why is it
lazy.
so? They become lazy.
Uh, yes, ma'am. Nowadays, a lot of people are scrolling on Instagram, social media, watching
Maybe the
movies,
digital.
digital. But during this lockdown time, a lot of people are converted into internet activities. Uh, I think personally, I like to play outside, be healthy, be active, and play with
No, some of
friends,
them are
interact.
doing. Actually, yeah, there is not all adolescents. There is a positive trend. We are happy to note that young people are now becoming change agents. They themselves are leading some important campaigns like this, physical fitness and bicycle. Then they go for marathons and participate in all the sports activities, inter-college activities. So that's good. And they actually become a fashion statement now to be physically fit. So with this, the new trend happening, the young people are picking up. Though not very, I mean, we expect all adolescents, at least most of them, to do that. But there is a positive trend. So we need to have more of such adolescents and young people. Maybe again, media helps them. Maybe a group of you all come flock together through social media. You form a group and do together. So there are ways how you can have fun. So you can use apps. There are so many apps. You can just use those apps, do together along with your friends. And as you said, it's boring otherwise to do alone. So you can. There are many ways how we can do. The Fit Me app. There are many apps are there. So yeah, and you all young people use all those apps, right? So something again we have to make this digitalized, physical fitness digitalized. Yeah, some this comments from me. Yeah. What about you, Sanjana? What is your idea about physical fitness? Do you do that? आप
I
अपने
try
routine में है
to
कि
fit in my life, but again, I think the major problem is we expect results to come soon. So if something is not changing, like in our appearance, we just stop doing it. So consistency becomes a problem. So I guess to not think about the results and to just exercise for the sake of being healthy, that would be a great thing to do for all adolescents. That's my answer.
Okay.
Nomika wanted to say something, I think. Nomika? Yes, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
You're speaking
It's
about
a little
physical
louder.
fitness.
Okay, so now am I audible?
Yes.
Okay,
Please go on, Nomika.
so
Yes, yes.
yeah, physical exercise. I think that Dr. Hima Bindu Singh introduced a app that was within our context only. That's known as Strava, and it is digitalization of physical education. If Dr. Hima Bindu Singh and I were
We
in
did
that
under Wave
case,
18 program. Yes, Nomika. Thank you for
yeah. So
recollecting that.
yeah,
We have
definitely. And it counted the number of steps that you took. And honestly, because it got digitalized, that's very important. And sometimes I used to be like, oh my goodness, I have only walked these amount of steps. Why have I not walked these amount of steps? And then it used to give me positive reinforcement. So if youth can be, digitalized in social media, they can also be digitalized in, these things as well. That's what I was saying. That why not the youth and marathons? There are disability marathons. There is a marathon that is regarding type 1 diabetes. That's very important. That was highlighted by Dr. Hima Bindu Singh, and that fosters resilience. Because as a person, you are also representing a community. And I took part in various marathons that was related to type 1 diabetes as well. And various other things is important because you are given a new uniform, you are given a positive reinforcement. And honestly, I feel that physical exercise can also reduce the amount of anxiety and panic attacks, because there is a psychological correlation which shows that as the amount of physical activity increases, the amount of anxiety and panic attacks are also decreasing. Sometimes we don't have to take all those medications, antipsychotics, and various other things, and there's not really a need for a person to go on these high level medications. When there is physical activity, when there is pranayama, when there is yoga, as Abhiram also talked about pranayama and various other things, and as Dr. Paula Goel and Dr. Preeti also made us know about resilience, that resilience is very important. And so our panic attacks, and we need to focus on them, and all of these things. Of course, being overwhelmed is a basic nature of human nature. I got into an accident today, and I was overwhelmed, right? But it was my resilience to come here and then, give a discussion, so that, I feel that, yeah, of course, it's important.
Good.
And thanks to all the panel members for creating an amazing, situation here. That's kind of thing. It's so empathetic of you guys, that you foster resilience, you foster empathy, you foster congruence. And most important, Sanjana and Sadiksha are leading the panel discussion. That's very, very, very important. And with a lot of smooth efforts.
Just want to add
That's
here that we
yeah.
had under Wave 18, and 1 month of physical fitness was the our theme. So we did actually had not just talking, we did walk the talk. We gave a 100 days challenge, and through this Strava, what she's mentioning, all the youth were motivated to enter into this, and we wanted to see how we were completing this 100 days. So it was fun, and it was daily comparison, and they were all awarded and certificates were given appreciation. That was something. Yeah, thank you for recollecting that.
Yeah.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Paula wanted to say something.
I wanted to add over here for the physical activity. So when we talk to teenagers regarding physical activity, it becomes, to many teenagers, it becomes more like a chore, something which they have to do. But if we take it from the point of sports, or in girls, even dancing or Zumba, something which brings out the passion, the life, the excitement, the energy, that's when, the endorphins get released, and it gives such a high. It gives, so the moment you relegate physical activity to either the gym or to something which has to be done every day, that is when the teenage mind starts thinking that, oh, I'm being controlled and I'm being told what to do. So I don't want to do it. But if you let them be and tell them, okay, do what you enjoy, that's when they may either take up any form of sports or swimming or dancing or whatever. Even they may close their room and dance by themselves also. Or they can have, like connect with each other on the phone or on Zoom and have a dance. So that's when the endorphins start flowing. And after a time, it becomes a part of the norm. And they understand that, yes, physical activity is important. So that's what I wanted to bring out.
Thank you everyone
Very
for
well
all
put.
the res-
Not only endorphins, but also oxytocin. Sometimes, when you are doing that, you're also releasing the oxytocin while, you're jogging with your dog and, hugging your dog and, all of these things. So not only endorphins, but also oxytocin is also released among teenagers. And that's what the teenagers want of today. And that's very well put, Dr. Paul. Very well put.
Dr. Hemabindu Singh, Abhiram, Dr. Paula Goyal, and Ms. Namika for all the responses for this question. Next, we'll move on to the last question of the panel discussion. Over to Sidiksha.
So, my question is to Dr. Preeti. Ma'am, I would like to ask you if you had to suggest one or two holistic strategies that help teens thrive both physically and emotionally, what would those be?
Thank you, Sidiksha. I think we have been talking about these strategies in the last 1 hour or so. So I think let me just put it all together for everybody's kind of understanding, and you can add on if I've missed on something. So I would kind of broadly divide them into the mother of all life skills we call is when we talk about both physical, emotional, maybe digital, spiritual, social health, would be self-esteem first. Building self-esteem, how confident you are, how you feel about yourself. If you don't love yourself, how will you love the world? So that is I think the bottom line first, that how we build. And the moment we give positive strokes to each other, you're doing great. And the youth ambassadors are so intelligent. They're doing so wonderful. Nomika has shown great resilience. That itself is a positive stroke that builds up our self-esteem, the confidence in ourselves, that we can, muster enough courage to stand up to challenges in life. Right. And sports is another thing where we're talking about sports. You learn to fail and yet to play. Right. And sports teaches all kinds of life skills. Right. So if there was a simple strategy, I would say it would be physical activity, 60 minutes per day. And we talked about positive peer pressure, right? So all this group, digitalization, the Fitbit, we can all do it together by making sure the person next to you and asking them, we often ask, how are you feeling? How about asking a question? How much of joyful movement did you do today? Right. And there is actually a movement in the world to replace the term physical activity, like what Paula was saying, with joyful movement. Okay, so let's make it a norm to ask our friends, how much of joyful movement have you done today? If it's 1 hour, great. And when it comes to steps, there is a lot of research coming in, and they say at least 7,000 steps is required to keep you healthy, right? You may require more. You may require more depending on what, your height, weight, and all that. But 7,000 is what you should be every day wanting to do. So first I said was self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. It's not only how you feel about yourself, it's sometimes related to how other people feel about you. And you need these people who build up your confidence, like maybe your parents, your friends, your teachers, which really gives you a big boost. And you kind of sometimes failing in the cleaning the table properly. Yeah, I'll just go to that small thing. And your mom saying, hey, you could do it better. And you saying, yeah, I did it better. That itself is, yes, we don't need to do everything perfectly at one go. We do not give up cleaning the table, but we try to do it better. So that will be my one. The second would be a healthy lifestyle. And we've been talking a lot about it. It's related to your diet. It's related to, and diet, I don't mean dieting. I mean a balanced all food diet, which includes carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, micronutrients, water, dairy itself. So all that I mean. So there's no restrictive diet in the adolescent period, no fat dieting in the adolescent period. This is next to infancy, the most rapid period of growth. You need all nutrients. There's no doubt about it. But yes, it should be balanced. That is what is, and in moderation. And stay away from high fat, salt, sugar diet should be our dictum there. Physical activity, already talked about. Sleep, we talked about. Pursuing your hobbies, yeah, that itself is a part of healthy lifestyle. everyday prayer. So if you belong to a family who does prayers and you believe in doing prayers, I think it's wonderful. Please continue that habit. Any of the spiritual practices, helping other people, being kind, taking care of nature is also a part of a healthy lifestyle. Being environmentally conscious is also a part. Yoga, mindfulness, great. If you like it, do it. Don't do it under duress, because then it takes out what it is really meant. It adds more stress rather than it being a stress buster. The third point which I come to is actually two things. Whenever you have a stressor or anything which puts you down, as I said before, don't get overwhelmed. Validate your emotions. Whatever I am feeling is what I am feeling, and that is okay in the movement. The moment I'm feeling okay, I feel disappointed because I didn't do well in an exam. I start crying. That's okay. Take a deep breath, like I said, take mindful breaths. You may even listen to music. You may even talk to somebody to get your emotions under control, and then think the problem which triggered the emotions, can I solve it, or do I have to cope with it? Okay, so sometimes what happens, the emotions could be triggered because one of your parents shouted at you, right? So is their behavior under your control? No, their behavior is not under your control. What is under your control is your own behavior and your response to their anger. Or did you trigger that anger? It's another thing to think about it. Or think of being empathetic. So my dad had a bad day in the office, probably he's tired and he's taking it out on me. That could be one of the ways to think about his anger in another way and cope with it and say, maybe I'll talk to him later when he's in a better mood about why was he angry, maybe unreasonably with me. And the same thing could hold good even for sometimes when your friends may not be treating you in the way you want to be treated. So press the pause button, think, and if it's a problem that can be solved, for example, not doing well in an exam, where did I go wrong? What are the people who can help me? Can I do a SWOT analysis? My strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Can I just improve my performance, right? And then have a plan A, B, C, and then go ahead, implement that plan, and then evaluate. So I think this is a very, very broad outline of resilience, taking from a high self-esteem, believing in yourself, to a healthy lifestyle, to think whether a problem can be solved, it has to be coped with, and finally do the problem solving. But the best thing out of all this is when you help others, you actually build up your resilience as well, and not hesitating to seek help. There's so many people having that one, at least one non-judgmental, trustworthy adult in your life. Anybody it could be, but remember, it should be an adult because their prefrontal cortex is mature. Having that one person to fall back on, having not hesitating to go to a health professional and following their advice. As I said before, sometimes you hesitate. There's some numbers which are available in India now. You should have those numbers ready with you. So one is the 112 number, which is actually replaced the child line in most of the states. That is one number to have with you. Another number could be 14416, which is the Telemanas number. To have that, and Telemanas helps with mental health issues. So having these numbers handy with you, the 1930 for cybercrime. My last point here would be about the AI, artificial intelligence. My last point here would be artificial intelligence. It is there so easily available, but there are no guardrails for the adolescent mind as of now. The chat GPT has a chat companion which can give fantastic answers to your queries, can develop even affection with you, give very nice answers, and you feel that there's really a real person answering you. But please remember, don't carry this conversation too far. And I would say, if you have a problem, do not go to the chat GPT. Do not go to any of the AI. Please talk to that non-judgmental, trustworthy adult in your life. Because as you know, in the last couple of months, I know of at least 2 adolescents who have lost their life. One was actually coached to do suicide. and the other got into a romantic relationship with the chat bot. These have been very shocking incidents for us, and we are trying as healthcare professionals to get in regulations there for the young adolescent brain, because as we have been saying again and again, you are on an emotional high. You may feel that there's a real person there, but there is really no real person there. And they might push you on doing things which are not appropriate. Right? So that will be my last bit. And Sidiksha and Sanjana, thank you for that great set of questions.
Thank you, ma'am, for the answer. It was very
Yeah, I think,
insightful.
Dr. Preeti, before we close, we should take some one-liners from the youngsters. So after we discuss so much, did they have any change? I mean, anything they have been impacted with, and what is the future? Can they, I mean, what is their feeling? Can they lead some change or make some changes in their lifestyle, or what they can do and as a future youngsters? You know, Abhiram, and I want to hear from the youngsters. How do you want to thrive?
Sure.
What you should do? She
So
already
go ahead.
She already told Preeti. But
Yeah,
do you
sure. Go
think
ahead,
that
Sidiksha. One thing which you take your take home or the key takeaway from this webinar today, what change would you do in your life? So go ahead, Sidiksha. And if there are many other young people on the platform, please put on your cameras. Yes. Any key takeaway? We'll first talk to the young people and then we can talk to the others also. Yes, Sidiksha, go ahead.
I think my takeaway is trying to incorporate more physical activity into my routine. And again, if I'm confronted with a problem, I try to talk it out with someone I trust.
Wonderful.
Very good, very good.
Sanjana?
Yeah.
The key takeaway would be to inculcate good sleep practices, diet practices, as well as to thrive by helping others thrive as well. So I want to build a community and thrive with others. That would be my takeaway.
Wonderful. Abhiram?
Ma'am, as you explained how beautifully how resilience is an important life situation and goal. Well, I think I have to believe in myself, keep trying, and never give up. And I will try to improve daily, doing activities, interacting with people, community, and I think that's the true resilience.
Wonderful. Very wonderful, Abhiram. I know you don't need to speak about physical activity because you're doing great as it is. Wonderful. I'm so glad you
Thank
took away
you.
some new points. So wonderful. Would anybody else want to say anything? Anybody? We keep it open now to for any of the people who are there on the platform to ask questions or to share
I
their
want to add
experience.
one thing, Dr. Preeti, that yes, you spoke absolutely well. I have a little throat problem. I was not able to speak, and I'm also in the car traveling. But you, as usual, amazing, and Dr. Paula, wonderful, and Dr.
Yes,
Anita
they
there
rocked the
with
school.
all the youngsters. But then I want to just add that, youngsters, one suggestion I would give is to be connected with each other. Don't be in isolation. Don't get into your mobile and just app or mobile. No, you have to really you should have a lot of friends. Connect with your parents also. They're also good friends. So connect with parents, connect with your teachers, connect with your friends. They're so much fun. That will help you feel that you are taken care of, and you feel secure, you feel loved, and little hugs like what Dr. Preeti said. All this will go a long way. So we should go back to our olden days when we had big families, but we don't. Even if you don't have big families now, you can still connect with your friends. Okay, so I think that's one important thing for us to be thriving well mentally. Physically, of course, we spoke a lot about it. Thank you.
So
We
many
talk
seniors
about
has joined
Jadoo
with
Ki
us. Dr.
Jhappi.
Geeta
Jadoo Ki
Patil.
Jhappi. Yeah, sure. We talk about Jadoo Ki Jhappi, right? So I think we need to give more Jadoo Ki Jhappis to
Yeah,
each
Chappi,
and to
yes,
our
yes.
parents. Yeah.
Dr. Miss
Lots of
Nomika
hugs.
say something.
Lots of hugs.
And then we would love to hear from Dr. Geeta Patil, Parmeshwari Madam, and Rashmi Dwivedi also one tagline message
Yes.
before
Oh,
winding up the session. Yeah.
That's here.
Nomika, you
how
want
are
to
you,
say
Am
something?
Sita?
I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as a child, clinical and counseling psychologist, I would say that mental health है and physical health है, तो wealth है. That's the tagline. I know a lot of people are here from sports and they might be doing amazing stuff, but अगर आपके पास ये वाली हेल्थ है, थोड़ी बहुत टीम वर्क जिसे मैम ने बताया, डॉक्टर हिमा बिंदु ने, वो सब है आपके पास, फ्रेंड्स है, तो आपके पास वेल्थ है. ट्रू वेल्थ वही होती है. वेल्थ पैसों में नहीं होती.
True.
Dr. Geeta Patel here, I think. She
Yes,
can just
yes.
give
I think I'm in a conference, but I cannot switch on the video.
one line message, ma'am.
I think
One
what
tagline message.
Hima Bindu madam, what she told, I endorse the point, being connected to each other. Don't be only
Yes.
digital natives. You should have a physical exercise, but keep your connection physically, not only interacting on the digital medium. And digital media is really good, but not to the extent that the support on the digital medium. Actual in the physical way you get it, you build up a resilience and lot of life skills. I think thank you, Sangeeta, for giving me opportunity.
Dr. Parmeshwari Mishra, and then after that, Dr.
Good evening,
Rashmi
everyone.
Dwivedi.
Good evening, everyone. In the beginning, I was wondering these first MBBS student, third MBBS student, and what they will speak, how they will prepare. You have done not justice to them, but my God, you all really surprised us and spoken so well, and you put your questions so well that you have done all the expertise. Dr. Preeti Galgali, Madam Hema Bindu, and Paula, you asked so nice questions and got what you wanted. So it's really a good discussion and excellent panel discussion. I am really very, very happy with this.
Even questions has been set by Siddhika and Sanjana.
Yeah, it's really wondering they have put all the what we are discussing last 1 year.
Yes.
They have put all the questions as if they were attended all them. Very nice and panel discussion.
Now I request Dr. Rashmi Dwivedi, madam, to just say one line message to us.
Yeah, good evening, and let me congratulate all the youngsters on the panel. They were excellent in their questions, and they were very, very knowing about most of the things. And I think the only message I would like to give them would be one, what one of the panelists has already said is that incorporate your physical activity into your daily routine. Even when you're talking on the phone, when you're reading, you can walk and read. It's not always necessary to sit on the table and do the reading. You can walk and read, and every 40 minutes, after 40 minutes, just walk for 10 minutes, and that could be a physical activity. And the second thing is spend more time into the real world rather than in the virtual world. Try to seek more of real likes rather than virtual likes. That would be my message to them. Thank you so much.
All
Thank you,
adolescents,
madam.
all
Dr. Puneet, are you there?
must laugh
One
with
minute.
all
Yes, Dr. Puneet, are you there?
participate in the laughing
Yes, ma'am.
session of the family.
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
this is
Ma'am, just
looking
one
so
tagline
nice.
message. Very smart.
Yeah, no,
So-
I'm on my way to Chandigarh. Actually, I really enjoyed. I mean, how confident these teenagers, young children are. They should be part of our adolescent health academy, maybe. And
Yes.
I just
They
want
are
to.
already there, Puneet.
Yeah,
They are
very good.
there
Very
part of
good,
our
ma'am.
adolescent health youth forum, and they are all
Very
part
good,
of
ma'am.
the
Yeah,
WPF also.
excellent. I just want to say that we must add the dose of TOSC. T is dopamine, O oxytocin, S serotonin, and E endorphin. When we have these four hormones, which are so easy to be made by ourselves, I think the world is going to be a very beautiful, happy, and peaceful place, and everybody is going to enjoy their lives. So we can produce those by spending time with our friends, by getting rewards, by exercising, by meditation, by hugging our loved ones, and that is all. It's very easy. So thanks for sending the connection, and thanks for making me part of this great academy. Thank you so much.
Dr. Raturi. one tagline
Namaskar.
message. Yeah.
Namaskar, everyone.
Yes,
Success
ma'am.
and program excellent. And as I missed some of it. I joined late because I had to go for some personal call. All the youth ambassadors are so bright and so wonderful. God bless you all. God
Thank
bless
you,
you
ma'am.
all.
Now I request Dr. Anita Patil to just give vote of thanks. We have finished our session in time.
Yes, we are on
And
time.
today's session was extremely beautiful. And I just want to share that I love trekking and I do very regular trekking and sometimes cycling. So that keeps me very healthy, fit, and I'm 62, but I do like anything. Like a youngsters, I can say. I like a youngsters, I do trekking so fast. Over to Dr. Anita Patil.
I take the privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to everyone who had made this event a memorable and enriching experience. First and foremost, I express a sincere gratitude to our panelists for taking the time out of their busy schedule today. Our valuable insights and words of encouragement have truly inspired us to working for the health and well-being of our adolescents. So a special thanks to our youth ambassador, Sanjana and Sidiksha to moderate the session. I would also like to acknowledge the support of our founder chairperson, Dr. Hima Mindu ma'am, and chairperson, Dr. Sangeeta Lodha ma'am of Women Pediatricians Forum for their encouragement and cooperation in making this event possible. I thank all the senior doctors present today and the dedicates for attending the session. As we conclude, let us carry forward the spirit of this week to continue spreading the awareness, promoting healthy habits, and supporting our adolescent in every possible way. Once again, thank you all for attending the session, for your presence and contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Preeti ma'am, for bringing this brilliant session with a youth ambassador on this International Adolescent Health Week. Thank you all.
So much. Thank you. Sidiksha, want to say something? Sidiksha?
Yeah, I wanted to request everyone who can switch on their cameras to do that because we can take pictures.
Yes, sure.
I'm already taking so many pictures, you know.
Yeah, everybody can put on. Yeah, thank you, Parmeshwari Madam. Puneet, can you put on camera? Yeah. Geeta, yes. Rashmi, Jyotsna, Rajni, Susmita, if you can put on your cameras, it will be nice. Okay, Sidiksha, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, everyone, please smile. Done. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, done.
Done. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Happy Diwali in advance.
Yes,
Thank
Happy
you.
Diwali. Have a wonderful time with the family.
Happy
and
Diwali
friends.
to everyone.
Thank
Happy
you.
Diwali.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Abhiram, Sadiksha, Sanjana, and Naumika for making this session.
And
a
Abhiram too
success.
as well. It was lovely to have all of
Thank
you.
you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for
Dr.
having me.
Preeti, I'm carrying your book, right?
Okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, Abhiram, you were saying something?
I was just saying thank you for having me.
everyone. God bless the
Bye-bye.
children.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lovely.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.